Yo,
Is that Pharmacist Ben?
it's me. What's up?
How are you, Pharmacist Ben?
I am doing good. Thank you for asking.
Your light was a little better when you just a second ago. How's your weather out there in Colorado?
Shorts weather, shorts and t-shirt weather.
Okay, is it always shorts weather for you, or is
Um,
it
well, it's like
pretty warm?
60. It's in the 60s.
Oh wow.
It's gotten as high as like 68, 69.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful. Don't tell anybody.
I won't. Okay, but I
Guys,
have a question. When you were in like elementary school, did you wear a uniform or you had like?
Why do you always ask me these weird questions for?
Well,
Um,
because I'm trying to figure out if you were the kid with your blazer and shorts on,
let
or
me tell you. Let me tell you why you're talking about why I'm wearing all this stuff here. I used to just wear whatever, but then I started seeing, this stuff lasts forever on the internet. It's there forever. I gotta make sure. I've already, embarrassed myself
have
forever,
you?
pretty
I,
much,
I
more,
don't
more
think.
than more than once.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Well,
it's happened.
well, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Um, and we are talking about today. Our
Yeah,
title is "Don't Just Quit: The Safe Way to Transition from Prescriptions to Nutrition."
you got that from our last conversation, right?
Well, because I did have some unresolved questions, and I have a good number of people who are dealing with the medical model and are attempting to break free. But they got some trepidation, and I
They,
understand.
you know, I do understand it. It's like I've said it before, but you like when I repeat myself, so I'll just say it again. You know that cartoon with two fishes and they're in the water, and one fish says to the other, "I heard there's this thing called water. Have you ever heard of it?" And they don't know because they're in the water. They don't see it because they're in it. And it's like that with the medical model. There's certain things the medical model does that we don't realize they're doing because everybody's always done it that way, and it's generational. It's been going on that way. One of the things they do is they break the body up into little parts: the heart, the eyes, the ears, the bones, the female organs, the male organs, the brain. You know what I'm saying? They're called specialties and specialists, right? You got a heart problem, you go to the cardiovascular doctor or the heart doctor. You got a blood pressure problem, you go to the cardiovascular guy. You got a brain problem, you go to the neurologist. You got a female issue, you go to OBGYN. You got a skin problem, you go to the dermatologist. You see what I'm saying here, right? It doesn't work that way. And it's hard for us to get our mind around it because it's like water to a fish. It's just normal. It's natural. I got a heart problem, I go to the heart doctor. I got a skin problem, I go to the skin doctor. It's the root, not the fruit. You're going to a fruit doctor for rotten fruit. You got to go to the root. You're going to the fruit doctor. If that's what's happening, and it doesn't work. It never works because the problem isn't the fruit. It's the root. I showed that picture of that lady with the skin. She went to dermatologist after dermatologist. I spent, I don't even know, 10 minutes with her. And in 2 weeks, she was a new woman, according to that picture, in 10 minutes. Because if you go to the root, you solve the problem. And it's easy. You go to the fruit, you don't know what that to do. I was talking about eye health. Was I talking to you about eye health? Were we going to talk about eye? I
Well,
was
we
talking.
spoke about eyes in the past.
Yeah. So the eyes are kind of a classic example because it's hard to appreciate the eyes as part of the system. Yet, if you have glaucoma, what's the problem when you have glaucoma? How is that related to the system?
Well, you have connective tissue that's deteriorated, and you
Where?
get film on the
No,
corners of the
not the
eye.
film, not the film, but you're definitely working. I hear you're working. You're on the right track. It's connective tissue. It's a connective tissue driven problem. There's these little valves that open up and that relieve. Glaucoma is when pressure builds up in the eye. Your
Oh,
eyes are always making fluid.
I'm thinking of cataracts. I'm
You
sorry.
think a little, okay, but you're still on the right track. Glaucoma is caused by pressure building up in the eye. Under ordinary circumstances, you're making eye fluid, and then you're draining eye fluid, making it, draining it, making it, draining it, so it stays in balance. When you have glaucoma, the drain is broken, so the fluid builds up, and it can cause high pressure, and it can go blind from it. It's a very serious problem. But the problem isn't the eye; it's you see it in the eye. But if you try to treat coma, there's nothing they can do. They give you drops. That's the best they can do for you. And that will just kind of suppress everything. That's all they can do because they're trying to treat the rotten fruit. They're trying to treat the rotten apple. You can't treat a rotten apple. You can only pretend to treat it by suppressing something. What do we call pretending to treat something?
Doctoring?
You said it. He said it. I didn't say it.
Okay.
It's not pretending to treat. It's pretending to make it better. And I don't want to rip on it. I went a little all out. I got a little passionate the other day, and I was listening to myself. And I don't want to rip on anybody, But we just have to acknowledge what we're dealing with here. So we have this culture that treats pathology, illnesses, as reductionistically localized to specific areas. You mentioned earlier, I don't know if I could say this, but I will. You said you're losing your hair, right?
Oh, I was kind of joking, but you could see
All right, well, I'm going to use that as an example, losing hair, okay? What's the natural tendency when you lose your hair? What are you going to do? Get a shampoo.
Well,
that's what they do. They get a hair shampoo or a hair cream or minoxidil or something because you think the problem's here. It's not there. It's in the thyroid and the digestive system and in the adrenals and in the male hormone system and the female hormone system. You got to work down low. You got to work at the root, not the fruit.
Profound stuff, Pharmacist Ben.
Yes.
But my question, I guess, on Friday you were kind of describing, one of your I heard a guy on the internet once say, he said, you can't cold turkey off of any medication.
That's not true.
And wait, I'm actually making a conglomeration of you and Doc.
Okay.
Doc always says don't cold turkey off any medication. And then you say you have to work with your doctor to get off your medication.
You don't have to, if you know what you're doing, you don't have to. But if you don't know what you're doing, you want to work with your doctor.
Let's assume most people don't know what they're doing.
That's right. Yeah. Assuming most people don't know what they're doing, yes, work with your doctor. Because here's the thing. Your doctor is trying to help you. And yeah, it may be misguided, but he's doing his best to try to help you. And so for us to come around, are you there? Do I have you?
I'm here, of course.
Yeah. So for us to say, oh, just get off your meds and this guy's trying to help you, I don't feel comfortable doing that. If you have if you're going to see a doctor, you have a de facto contract with the doctor. It's not literally a contract, but in essence, it's a contract. It's an agreement. I'm going to go to you. You're going to help me. And then you say, okay, but now I'm going to take myself off all the drugs. It's not fair. It's not necessarily that you're going to have a problem with it. Sometimes you do. But the point is you want to be respectful of your healthcare practitioner.
Pharmacist Ben, can you think of it?
Is this rude? Can I call you back? I'm on a Zoom call. Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, fine. Sorry about that.
Are there any medications that you're aware of?
Yeah, like Prozac, steroid drugs, drugs that affect neurotransmitters. Just as a general, sometimes blood pressure drugs. As a general rule, you don't want to just stop your drugs if you've been on them for a long time. Statin drugs, you're probably okay. Antibiotics, well, you got to be careful with antibiotics, but you shouldn't be on antibiotics for long periods of time anyway. But the kind of drugs you're on for long periods of time, blood thinners, you definitely want to wean yourself off. For best, you probably want to wean yourself off of most drugs, I would say. There are some you don't have to worry about.
When you say wean, you mean half a dose and half of that and half of that?
Yeah, like that. Lower dose. If you're on 100 milligrams, take 100 milligrams, lower to 70 milligrams. There's no fast rule on how to do it. You just lower your dose. There's my friend Soterius, by the way. He's the one with the eye problem.
We'll bring him in a second. What about thyroid meds that people have been on? Levothyroxine.
Thyroid meds are among the dumbest of all medication, and they're not really medication. They're hormones. So they don't work by changing something in the body directly. Eventually they do, but not directly. They work by giving, it's hormone replacement therapy, essentially. Except it's not as powerful as the reproductive hormones, the steroid hormones. Those are really powerful. Thyroid hormone that they give you is not powerful. And it's a very, very, very ineffective way to treat hypothyroidism. It's the best they can do because they're working on the rotten apple. That's the best they can do. When you're working on the rotten apple, that's all you can do. But if you go back, the thyroid is extremely responsive to the adrenal glands, the metabolic system, the blood sugar system, and the digestive system. What do we call those?
The triangle of health?
The triangle of disease. That's exactly right. The triangle of disease, the tip of it is the thyroid. The tip of the triangle is the thyroid. So you got your digestive system and your metabolic system, your blood sugar system. And then you have your adrenal thyroid complex, or they call it the HPA thyroid axis. Some people, I call it the adrenal thyroid complex, whatever. The thyroid regulates everything. There is no heart disease without hypothyroidism. There's no cancer without hypothyroidism, or maybe sometimes hyperthyroidism without thyroid problem. They're somewhat similar, actually. And those illnesses are related to A, too much stress or stress hormone, and estrogen counts as stress hormone. So cortisol and estrogen, that's your adrenals. Insulin and insulin resistance and sugar, and digestive toxicity. The problem is, or that's already a problem, but even worse, because the thyroid regulates the digestive system and the blood sugar system and the adrenal system. Once you're hypothyroid, it just keeps going. Circle. You're in a downward, vicious downward spiral. The worse your thyroid gets, the worse the other 3 points get, which makes your thyroid worse, which makes the other 3 points worse. And this is where most people live. Most people are living in this circle. And they're trying to treat the heart disease up here, which is secondary to the circle, or the cancer, or the autoimmune disease, or the Alzheimer's, or the whatever, skin problem, whatever it is. This is the problem down here. Why is this important? Number one, if you try to treat the fruit, this is the fruit. Try to treat the fruit, it's not going to work. You're just going to be pretending that your metrics are changed, that your test scores change. Number two, if you work here, it's always going to work. So you have never work versus always work. What's it going to be? Even worse. Never work is where the specialist lives. Always work is where the either the naturopath or the human being lives. We've just been hoodwinked, like in football. One of the greatest plays in football is called misdirection, where everybody goes this way, but the runner goes that way, right? We're all looking over here. Here's where the problem is. It's misdirection. It's classic misdirection. Magic. That's how magic works. Oh, look over here. And they pick your pocket over here. Misdirection. Oh, it's your heart. Oh, it's your brain. No, it's not. It's the triangle underneath. Why don't they want you to know that? Because you don't need anybody. Not only don't you need anybody, they can't do anything. Do you realize they can't do anything for the triangle? It's all how you're eating. It's all how you're interacting with your life. On the one hand, that's so cool, it's so powerful. On the other hand, it's so frustrating because you're not going to get any help from a doctor, and we have to do it ourselves. And again, I don't want to be ripping on any of my friends or any doctors. They're good people. They're really good people. So
in addition to what you just said, if a doctor has some insight and they know that you could be better from changing your diet, which they may not be restricted from saying, but
they're not restricted.
Utilizing nutrition, they'd lose their license if they told you.
Not necessarily. They lose their license if they didn't practice what's called standards of care. And that means there are certain things you have to do if somebody has high blood pressure. There's certain things you have to do if they have elevated cholesterol. There's certain things you have to do if they have a history of heart disease. And if you don't do those, then you're in violation. But that doesn't mean you can't prescribe, diet and supplements and nutrition. And they should. And good doctors will do that. Good doctors know to do this. And smart doctors. And the word doctor, docere, where we get doctor, it means to educate. It's really what a doctor is supposed to do, is educate us. We have given them a different role, but initially they educated us.
So potentially, you're saying that potentially, if I went to a doctor and I had some, I don't want to put anything out there, right? But if I had some issue, the doctor would have his standard of care, but then would have the leeway in addition to
absolutely. Hey, can I do a YouTube video? Can we do a quick YouTube video?
Sure. You want to send me the link, or you want to?
I'm gonna send you the link right now. Okay. But go ahead and continue asking me.
So they could potentially suggest that you use certain nutrients?
No, they can do all kinds of. There's doctors who do both.
Where'd you send it, by the way?
I'm going to send it. You tell me where to send it. I'll send
How about in this private chat right here on the left side?
Okay, let me see. Private chat. Okay, well you are. It's 6 minutes or 7 minutes long. So let's see if you can run it. See it?
I have it. Okay. You want to see it now?
Yeah, let's watch it.
I'm gonna leave. You'll be able to see them.
I have this big scanner. This QR code. Hi there. Hi. Can't hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Hello? Hi.
Hi. Who are you? What's your name?
My name is Amy. And
hi, Amy.
My husband, Jerry.
How are you? Jerry. Good to see you.
How you doing?
Thanks for coming. You know, Christmas was a long time ago, you guys.
I know, but
I like
Christmas.
I know. I like Christmas too.
And it fit in with Valentine's Day. Anyway, my husband just had a hospital visit, should I say, last week with cardiac failure.
Okay. What's your husband's name?
Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. So you want some help with cardiac failure?
Yeah. So they gave me a series of medicines. Obviously, I just got released last Wednesday. They did a heart cath, found no blockages.
Okay. What happened? Did you have a heart attack?
I didn't have. All I had was trouble breathing, but my lungs were filled with fluid to the point where I couldn't take 2 or 3 steps without being out of breath. So I decided to run to the ED and get checked out. And they tested me for, pneumonia, COVID, bronchitis, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And couldn't find anything. So they did an EKG and CAT scan, and come to find out I have what's called cardiac failure.
Hang on, let me help you out. This is the notes from Keely. He thought he had pneumonia, found out it was in congestive heart failure. I guess she means congestive heart failure.
Congestive heart failure, yeah.
Congestive heart failure.
Then the litany of tests, she gave an infographic. So the list that he's on: aspirin, furosemide, ezetimibe, Jardiance, metoprolol, Spiron.
Dude, this is serious stuff. You probably feel like crap. You got to feel horrible with all these drugs.
And by the way,
I don't feel bad at all because
his son's a PhD about to be a PhD nurse.
Oh, really? That's interesting. Okay, so here's the deal. The strategy for taking care of your heart is to slow everything down.
Correct. That's what the beta blocker is for. All
of it, everything, not just the beta blocker, everything. They're addressing the kidney with the furosemide. I forgot all the drugs you said you're taking on. The Jardiance. I don't know. Your blood sugar's off. How old are you?
I'll be 59 in August.
Dude, you're a young man. I hope you wreck your kid.
This is my first trip to the doctor in my life.
Yeah, well,
I don't even have a PCP.
You're in good. You got good news. You got bad news. The bad news is you're too young for all this. The good news is you're young. Okay, and I don't know how you've heard us before, if you've heard us talking before, but there's 2 major areas that you work in when your body is breaking down secondarily. Congestive heart failure is a secondary issue. The 2 fundamental areas are digestion and blood sugar. Now they're treating your blood sugar. They're taking care of your insulin and your blood sugar with the Jardiance. Tell me all the drugs again: furosemide, metoprolol, Ozempic. What is the other one you said? Furosemide, Jardiance,
Astravastin,
yeah. What else?
Sacubitril, valsartan,
Yeah.
spironolactone,
Spironolactone, furosemide.
Metoprolol, Jardiance, Ezetimibe.
Bro, this is like no human being should ever can't handle that much drugs. You're on a cocktail of medication because the logic is just to throw medication at it. So in the meantime, take the medication. But do you want help? Are you asking me to have help? Is that you want me to give you some advice?
Yeah.
What's the purpose?
Yes, I'm already taking the mineral program.
You need more than that. You need way more than that.
Keely has them on the brain and heart pack, I believe.
That's all great, but you need way more than that. You need way more than that. First of all, the most important thing by far is going to be to correct intestinal health. And that means, and you're going to have to be vigilant because you may not notice it. Maybe you do. A lot of people don't notice because it goes under the radar. Bloating, gas, heartburn, discomfort, loose stools, constipation, diarrhea, cramping, anything that has to do with the digestive system. And like I say, they go on, these kinds of things go under the radar. But once toxicity enters into the bloodstream through what's called a leaky gut, and Keely, you can talk to them about leaky gut, you're off to the races. And until you patch up that intestine, it's very difficult to work secondarily at the heart level of the heart. The second thing is your blood sugar. Now, they're smart enough to know about your blood sugar, and they're already working with that with the Jardiance. So your blood, I'm sure they tested your blood sugar. They probably didn't test your insulin, but they probably checked your blood sugar. So now you get to go on a ketogenic diet. You know what that is?
Yes.
You want to go on a ketogenic diet. You want to do low calorie, and you want to do low carb and more protein. Wouldn't hurt you to get some resistance training. That's not like a must, but that would help. Resistance training.
I do all this already, but I've been having these symptoms since November. So the last time I actually weight trained was November. December and January were really bad for me as far as
you don't need to weight train. You don't need to weight train. You get bands. You get rubber bands.
I have all that equipment is what I'm saying.
Go for it. It's not like a must, but it will help. Hang on a second. It's not a must, but it will lower your blood sugar and it will support insulin. What happens when insulin, let me finish real quick. What happens when your blood sugar is off and insulin is off is things move really fast.
So what's a good blood sugar number?
It doesn't work that way because it's not blood sugar, it's insulin.
Okay.
And nobody tests insulin. Blood sugar is controlled by insulin. So if your insulin's high, this will lead to defects in the blood vessels. Defects in the blood vessels will in turn impede blood flow. Impeding blood flow will cause heart failure and problems breathing. So you're dealing with clogs. Your blood's not moving correctly through the vessels.
Well, they did a they did a heart cath. I have no clogged arteries, no clogged veins.
It doesn't matter. You got to listen. I'm sorry, Gary was your name? Jerry. You got to throw out everything you know, and you don't have to, but if you're going to work with us, you got to throw out everything you know from doctors because they're testing based on what are called metrics.
Right.
Metrics are based on generic statistics. Nobody knows your particular problems. They're just putting it into a computer and seeing where you fit in compared to everybody else. But that doesn't have anything to do with you. That's a statistic. You can tell by the fact that you have heart failure that your blood's not moving correctly. By definition, clogs, schmogs, it doesn't matter. Your blood's not moving. And so we got to get your blood moving.
Right.
You get the blood moving by lowering the insulin and the blood sugar and by cleaning out, by patching up a leaky gut, keeping the toxins from getting into the bloodstream. And I don't know if you've heard us talk before, so I just assume you haven't because I've never seen you before. All disease backtracks to the blood. All disease is cell disease. All cell disease comes from the blood. You don't have a heart problem. You got a blood problem. Cleaning the blood is the key to everything, period. Whether it's acne on the face or whether it's heart disease. Cleaning the blood. And when you say there's no clogs, they're looking for clogs, big clogs. But they're not looking for the movement, the viscosity of the blood, the tendency of the blood to move. So you got to get that blood moving is the bottom line. The most important reason I said the digestion and the blood sugar, and the insulin, but movement, slow, deep, rhythmic breathing, more fluid, more hydration. All of these have a tendency to support the movement of blood. That's the ticket, as they say. That's the secret. A, keep the blood from being viscous and sticky through food and digestive strategies and blood sugar strategies. And B, get it moving, again, through food, also hydration, also breathing, and also movement. As far as supplements go, I'd be using Keely. I'd be using the Healthy Blood Sugar Pack. And I don't want you to get the idea that, oh, I take the supplements and I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. But the supplements are incredibly important. But they're supplements. What are they? It's like when you have a supplemental income, right?
Right.
You don't live on your supplemental income. It's a supplement to food. And that's why the food is first and then the supplements. They're both important. And that's how I would be approaching it. But you're really young, and that's good news because you can reverse this thing. But it's also bad news because you're too young.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Jerry.
Hang on, Ben.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So,
no, hang on.
Jerry had some questions also about coming off of that medication and what.
Yeah, that's good. That's
everybody's
good.
afraid of the minerals. We'll talk about the minerals and how they don't affect.
Thank you, Keely. A couple things. First of all, you've only been on the medication for 5 or 6 days, right?
Since Thursday, yeah.
Okay, so a few days. All that medicine is and it's a lot of medicine, is suppressing everything, is shutting everything down. Now, in fairness to the doctors, they're seeing that your heart you got a problem. You don't want your heart moving too fast. They're shutting down. The problem is, ultimately, you're going to feel like crap because you're shutting everything down, basically poisoning the body. That's how they're working. So what you want to do is you want to wean in these other strategies as you wean down on the medication. Like, you don't want to just stop taking the meds because they're keeping you in the game. Right? These are emergency meds. You're in an emergency situation. But your goal, your long-term goal, should be to dial in the metabolic strategies, the lifestyle strategies, all the things I just talked about, and dial down the meds. You want to do that with your doctor. Now, you don't want to say if you want. I'm not telling you to do this. This is all if you want. You don't want to you don't want to let your doctor tell you what to do. You tell him, and this is if you want, again, you tell him, hey, doc, these are toxic, and I want to start weaning them down. I want to start changing my life and weaning up on supplements and on lifestyle strategies and diet and exercise and all that other stuff. He has to do that for you. And if he's smart, he will. But sometimes they're resistant. This is up to you. You have to insist if that's what you want. If that's what you want. If it's not what you want, it's fine. But if that's what you want, that's how you handle it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because I've never been on, this is the first time I've ever been on meds in my life.
It's horrible. I know what you're saying. I'm a pharmacist. It's terrible. Yeah, it's a lot of meds. That's like 7 different medications.
Correct.
Go ahead, Agent.
Pharmacist Ben, I don't know if Jerry understands that he's got metabolic syndrome.
Yes. Have you heard that term, metabolic syndrome?
No.
Well, I didn't want to get into too much biochemistry. I don't know how much chemistry you want, but in the interest of everybody listening, it is kind of interesting. Metabolic syndrome is a condition that's caused by elevated insulin. Insulin is a rev you up hormone. You've heard of insulin, I'm sure, right?
Yes.
Okay. Insulin is something that revs you up. It makes cells divide really rapidly. It prepares you immobilizes you for action. It makes your cholesterol go up. It changes the way you process fats. It causes inflammation inside the blood vessels. All of these lead to problems with every organ in the body. They call it metabolic syndrome, but what they really mean is everything syndrome. Syndrome is when a lot of things happen from one cause, and everything's metabolism. It all comes from insulin, which in turn comes from sugar, which is why the ketogenic diet is so important. The problem is they don't test for insulin, so you don't even know. So you got to assume that your insulin's high, and that's what the healthy blood sugar pack will do, and that's what the ketogenic diet will do, and that's what the resistance training will do. All these things that I told you, those are all in the interest of lowering the insulin to prevent metabolic syndrome. You look like a smart guy. Google metabolic syndrome and heart failure, and it'll tell you everything I just told you. It might be a little more complicated than I just said it, but it's basically the idea that everything's moving really fast, and inflammation is building up inside the blood vessels, and the blood is becoming stickier, and that's depriving the heart of oxygen, and that in turn will cause difficulties breathing, and that in turn will cause more heart failure. It's just a big complex mess. It all starts with insulin and the diet, and that's what AJ's talking about when we talk about metabolic syndrome.
Gotcha.
Okay, and by the way, it's so common in the United States and around the world. It's almost like 1 out of every 3 or 4 people have it. So you're not alone.
All righty.
All right, buddy. Thank you, Jerry. Good to see you.
So I have a question.
Yes, Amy.
Do you think that Dr. Tenpenny has a thing called ECP therapy? Do you think that
ECP is great.
would that
ECP
be
is great.
beneficial for him?
It's great, but it's not going to cure the problem. But yes, it's great. And Dr. Tenpenny is great too. She's awesome. And ECP, the pulse therapy, is going to propel. It's going to force the blood because there's a blood problem. As I was saying, it's not moving correctly. The ECP will help move the blood. It will help propel the blood. It is. I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, because I was on her website looking at that, and I was just curious if it would be beneficial for.
It would definitely be beneficial. Absolutely. Remember, it's all. Have you've been here? You've heard us talk before? Have you heard us before?
No, Kelly. This is the first time I came in.
Okay, gotcha. It's all about the blood, Amy. All about the blood. Everything backtracks to the blood. Once the blood becomes sticky, all these other things happen.
Well, besides the digestive pack and stuff, what else should he be doing?
Healthy blood sugar pack, and Keely's is still listening. Healthy blood sugar pack, and then I would be looking for. You can either assume there's SIBO, which is a good assumption, or leaky gut, or you can start treating it, or you can do a food diary and look for it, or you can just assume it and do the I-26, Daily Digest, Ultimate Enzymes, FucoidZ, collagen peptides. Keely can help you with that.
Amy,
or you can test it.
Amy, you go to rootnotfruit.com. Go to rootnotfruit.com, and you'll see all of the things that he's talking about to repair the gut. And you get with Keely, and she can help you. Amy's a distributor, by the way, and she will help you. And Keely,
I haven't gotten into it as heavy as my sister.
No, don't you worry. Nobody's like Hurricane, but but you.
Oh my God, you call her Hurricane. That's a great
Hurricane. Who's that? Do I know her?
Keely. That's.
Oh, Keely's your sister?
Friend.
Yeah,
she's my Keely.
Sister. Oh, she's my sister.
I can see now. Now that you mentioned, I can see those.
That's the baby.
Oh, you're the baby
oldest.
sister?
Baby oldest, yeah.
We're 11 years apart. But,
where'd you guys grow up? Where'd you guys grow up?
Ohio.
And it's just the 2 of you, or do you have other siblings?
No, there's 4 of us.
Oh, there's 4 of you. Okay, you're the baby. 11
brothers.
years later. All right. Well, good to meet you, Amy.
Yep, nice to meet you.
Right.
What about hyperbaric chambers?
They're awesome. Hyperbaric chambers,
awesome.
Awesome. Also, CPAP machines. Does he snore?
Oh yeah, he has sleep apnea, and
that's it. That's it. He's not getting oxygen. He probably has AFib too. Did they check for AFib?
Did they? Yes.
Look, I'm not a psychic. That's just how it happens.
Well, he first time ever trying the CPAP machine in the hospital, and it helped tremendously.
Now
we have one at home.
No kidding. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. When the blood gets sticky, you don't get oxygen, you don't get nutrition, you don't get toxicity, you don't get detoxified, and you don't get electricity. It's everything. Everything is the blood. It's so simple.
Okay.
Everything is the blood. Blood. Right, AJ? Blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Leviticus. And Leviticus don't lie.
Yeah, because he's down to 25%. So
he's suffocating.
Yeah.
And by the way, when you're in suffocation mode, your stress hormone goes up. That means you have problems sleeping. That means you're jittery. That means you have all the antsy pain. Hello? I didn't just roll off the turnip truck yesterday, Jerry.
No, but he did. He did. Let me tell you, this man has ignored every symptom for years.
Jerry, your wife needs you. Come on, Jerry.
Yeah. Hey, I'm of the generation. Throw some dirt on it. Get back in the game.
No.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do when you're dead?
And he won't admit pain.
They all need you.
His back probably hurts. He doesn't admit it. Yeah, you know what? We can't be American men anymore. We gotta be a little sympathetic.
Jerry, do you got grandkids?
4.
They need you. Do it for them. All right. Thank you, buddy.
So, Ben, what we wanted to do is actually get his son on the phone at some point in time, who's, a nurse practitioner.
I'd love that. I would be thrilled. I always say I want doctors. I'll take a nurse practitioner.
Yeah, well, he needs a good education in this.
Let's bid him on. Next call. Let's get him on. Next call.
Okay.
And by the way, I've worked in many hospitals. Let me tell you something. Nurses are saints. They're from heaven. When they die, when a nurse dies and goes to heaven, they go to the front of the line. They have bonus points. They run the healthcare system. They're those beautiful, saintly people. And for your son to be a doctor of nursing, that's really impressive. And I would love to talk to him.
Yeah, it would be beneficial for him.
Okay.
But all right, thank you.
All right, folks. See you soon.
Take care. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, Pharmacist Ben. I know that we are winding down here and our questions are limited. Let me just check if there's anybody on Rumble who had a question for you, because I don't want to ignore Rumble.
Well, let me talk about Sartorius, who left. I told him I wanted him on the call. People call me randomly, and I always feel like if they come on a call, everybody can benefit instead of me just talking to one person. So Sartorius has a problem with his eyes. He's losing his eyesight, which is horrible. He's 76 years old, and I want him on the call because, like we said earlier, you can't focus on individual parts. When you're losing your eyesight, you've got to focus on the system because it's inflammatory. And the inflammation is not coming in through the eyes. Where's it coming from?
From your gut. Yeah.
Always. And so the only thing that stops us from understanding this is the programming, the hypnosis. I guarantee you, AJ, I can tell by Jerry, the guy we just talked to. Part of him's like, yeah, well, who is this guy? He's a pharmacist, and longevity, blah, 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 blah. My doctor didn't tell me that. That's the kind of, and I'm not picking on Jerry, by the way. I'm just saying this is the kind of mindset that we have, present company excluded. That it's not in the mainstream, so it's got to be wrong, or it's got to be weird, or it's got to be wacko. We got to get over that. We got to get over the idea that when we have a problem with a specific part, that we can address the problem by addressing the specific part. Does that make sense? By addressing the special part. Unless you have an emergency, and Jerry had an emergency, by the way, so he needs what he needs. You notice I didn't say stop taking your meds. As he's on a cocktail of meds, a lot of different meds, but they're keeping him in the game. So what he wants to do is he wants to dial up the lifestyle stuff and dial down the meds gradually. You don't stop. He should definitely not stop taking his meds.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, I'm going to be on Coast to Coast tomorrow. That reminded me. I'll be on Coast to Coast tomorrow. And the reason that reminded me, because that's what George always says to me. He always says, but don't go off your meds. Make sure you don't go off your meds. Make sure
George wants to keep his airtime.
I know, exactly. Exactly.
Pharmacist Ben, but what you were saying is accurate because who's the source that we're hearing from? The mainstream, everybody's quote unquote normal. They're going to McDonald's and they're, it's normal, right? That's the mainstream. And then, as Donald is mentioning, who's bringing the holistic approach? When you see the people who are bringing a holistic approach, they're wearing Birkenstocks and they're wearing shorts and a tie, and they got weird hair, or there's some guy, some dude from Harlem.
You know what? That's why, AJ. That's why I take great pains to walk you through it. You notice I do that. You can't miss it. Sometimes we do these calls, I only talk to one person because I'm taking great pains to walk you through it. I never say just take this, take that. I hate that. And by the way, that's what people sometimes want. They want just take this, just take that. I don't want to do that because because of my hair, and my shorts, and because I know that's what you're going to think if I say take this, take that. I want you to see how it works, and also, it's logical. We have this idea that it's I gotta have a degree, and I don't know enough science, I don't know enough chemistry. No, it's logical. It's plumbing. It's a plumbing system. That's all. It's fluid dynamics. hemodynamics. Fluid dynamics is the movement of fluid, the science of the movement of fluid. Hemodynamics is the science of the movement of blood. That's all. It's hemodynamics. The body is hemodynamical. It's a hemodynamic system. When we're sick hemodynamically. There's no chronic disease without a hemodynamic dysfunction. Does that make sense?
Yes. Without
it has
blood.
to be. This is just logic. The body is a fluid system. We become stagnant. Our fluids back up. They become polluted. Like the Cayuga River in Cleveland. Keely, you know the Cayuga River probably, right?
I wonder if Keely and Amy know that story.
Where the river caught fire?
Yeah, I wonder if they know that story. Amy, do you know that story about the Cayuga River?
Actually, Jerry does here.
Yes.
Jerry, tell us the story about the Cayuga River.
So it was back in the late 60s when the river caught on fire because of all the pollution dumped
Exactly.
in the river. That's
your blood, Jerry. That's the blood. When I talk about dirty blood, it's like the Cayuga River. And the flame, that's inflammation. It's a metaphor. Same deal.
All right.
And why did the Cayuga River become polluted? Because there was a freaking pipe that was flooding it with poisons, with toxins. That's your intestine.
Is that accurate, Jerry? Was there?
Yes, they were dumping industrial waste through pipes.
Well, I want to hear from Jerry. He knows.
I'm actually not from Cleveland, but I know the story. I'm from Pittsburgh, but I do know the story of the Cuyahoga River fire.
Yeah, you're from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you're not in Pittsburgh. Where are you guys now?
Another bad football town. That's great.
Yeah, Pittsburgh. You got a lot of stuff going on in Pittsburgh.
We're in Elyria, Ohio now.
What's that?
I said we're in Elyria, Ohio now.
What is that? I didn't quite get
Elyria,
that.
Ohio.
It's outside.
Oh, Elyria. I got you.
Outside of Cleveland.
Does that mean you're a Browns fan or Steelers fan?
Hell no.
No.
No, he said.
Give it a year. Give it a year.
Oh, no, thank you.
All right.
See you guys later.
I don't blame you. All right. Thank you.
All right. Pharmacist Ben, I got a question from Rumble, and this is Kimone. And oh boy, I got a couple questions from Rumble. First one from K Monet. Will red light therapy shrink fibroids?
No. Red light therapy is good though. I'm a fan of red light therapy. But no, as long as you have a metabolic imbalance involving estrogen, it's primarily an estrogen problem, you're not going to shrink with red light therapy. But red light therapy is great. I'm a big fan of red light therapy. And we get way too much blue light. Red light has a calming effect. You know what you could do? You can actually buy incandescent red lights and put them in your bedroom. And either read with them or fall asleep with them or just kind of relax with them. They're very relaxed.
Okay, Pharmacist Ben, but let's focus on the point. She wants to know how to get rid of fibroids.
Well, she didn't say that. You said
she didn't say that because she looked on the internet somewhere and it said red light therapy is going to shrink the fibroids.
No. Fibroids.
She needs to know how.
Who is this person? Is she on the call?
This is a woman or K Monet on Rumble.
Okay. K Monet, listen. You don't just have fibroids. You know that. You have other health problems, probably menstrual problems, dysmenorrhea, infertility, other female health problems. Fibroids are related to estrogen and insulin. Estrogen, I was talking to Jerry about insulin. Insulin makes things happen. It makes things grow. Estrogen makes things happen, makes things grow. To compound the problem, estrogen, I'll tell you how you get too much estrogen here in a sec. When your estrogen levels are high, this can inflame the intestine. That can cause leaky gut, which in turn will cause the release of something called histamine, which also accelerates the growth of substances. So your body's growing and growing and growing things. A fibroid is like a little baby, except it's not a baby, it's a growth. You're in growth mode. You're in inappropriate growth mode. Estrogen and insulin are the main culprits, and you correct those by working on digestive health. And again, I'm not a psychic, I'm just a pharmacist, but I guarantee you've got digestive problems.
Wait, I think K Monet is a twin from last Monday.
Okay, then she knows.
Well, she's saying she's trying to
get
rid
rid
of.
Is K Monet the vegetarian?
Probably.
Okay,
Are you K Monet? Are you the vegetarian But she said she's trying to get rid of the fibroids, and she read that red light therapy is going to do the trick. I don't think she understood what you said last week.
How are you going to get a red light therapy up your uterus? Or how are you going to get a red light up your uterus? What, through your skin?
This is a family show, Pharmacist Ben.
I know, exactly. So what doesn't even make any sense? So, how's red light therapy going to help? You're going to put it on your belly or on your, where your uterus is? How are you going to do that? That doesn't even make any sense. But yes, red light therapy, theoretically, if you had a fibroid in a petri dish and you shot it, theoretically it might, because red light therapy has a calming effect. K-Monet, and we'll assume it's a vegetarian. Okay.
Yes, she's the vegetarian, she said.
Okay. You're in growth mode, inappropriate growth mode inside. Your metabolism thinks you're growing. And these modes of growth are regulated hormonally. The main hormones that regulate it are insulin and estrogen. Do the math. Insulin is a sugar hormone. And I don't want to hear I don't eat sugar, blah, 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 because you got an insulin problem. And by the way, vegetarians tend to eat a lot of insulin spiking foods because you got to get calories and you're not eating meat. I'm not telling you to eat meat, by the way, I'm not telling anybody to eat meat. I'm just saying a lot of times vegetarians are eating high carb, insulin spiking foods. So that's one thing. Secondly, a lot of vegetarians are eating foods that inflame the intestine. Beans are notorious for that. And for a vegan or vegetarian, beans are a major part of the diet. Also, when the intestine becomes inflamed, estrogen, instead of being eliminated, will recycle. And it will recycle in a more potent form. And this recycling of estrogen makes estrogen problems even worse, makes growth problems even worse. So it all boils down to estrogen and insulin. And that means intestinal health and food. Yes.
Pharmacist Ben, I think, I think that she is probably a little impatient with trying to fix the digestive system.
You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how it all works. You decide what to do. I'm certainly not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you how it all works. Now, to make matters worse, the fibroid, which is made up of ovarian tissue or female tissue, is making more estrogen. So it may be that you want to have that fibroid taken out surgically and then correct the problem. The issues with fibroids taken out surgically is if you don't correct the problem, they come back. So if you're really impatient, have a surgical procedure. Don't let them take your whole female organ system. Sometimes they want to take the whole thing. You don't need that. I don't know, maybe I'm assuming you only have one fibroid is what you said. So have the fibroid removed and do all these other things so it doesn't come back.
In lieu of the fibroid removal, you can review what we said last week, right? I mean,
and fibroids do shrink when your estrogen drops. That can happen too. So, it depends on what you want to do. And I don't want anybody thinking I'm telling anybody what to do here. I'm just showing you how the process works so you can make changes if you want.
This is for informational purposes only.
Not to take the place of your medieval barber.
Yeah, she's had 3. I'm not laughing at you, Came on now. I'm laughing at the video he played earlier. She's had 3 surgeries, and they came back each time.
Hey, what did I just tell you? What did I just say? You haven't corrected the problem.
So clearly, as I'm mentioning, she's frustrated, and she's asking also.
K-Monet. K-Monet. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to beat a dead horse here. Diego, or I'm calling you Diego.
AJ is my name.
AJ. Hello, AJ. But am I making sense? They're going to keep coming back.
Listen, I'm with the Kool-Aid, man.
You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
You don't have to convince me.
But do you see how things keep coming back? If you get doctored, no, I know. I'm not talking to. I understand. But I'm just telling everybody, if you keep getting doctored, you're not solving the problem. That's why it's to commit a fraud. You haven't solved the problem. And I'm not saying this to be mean to anybody, any physicians. It's just that we treat the fruit, not the root. The fibroid is the fruit. And yes, you can pick the apple off the tree, the rotten apple, which is what having the fibroid removed is. But as long as the soil and the root of the tree are corrupted, the rotten apple's coming back. And of course you're going to be frustrated.
Okay.
Understandable.
K-Monet started her food diary, but she's confused on what grains she can eat.
You can eat whatever grains don't make you bloat. Why does she come on? I don't want to have to talk through you.
No, because, okay, K-Monet, here is a link right here in Rumble. Bring yourself on here. In the interim, 1225573 is asking, would adding chlorophyll to water help clean blood?
Yes, chlorophyll's great stuff. It won't, it might have some blood cleansing effects. Chlorophyll's great stuff, that's for sure. That's for sure. Chlorophyll and hemoglobin are very similar. The chlorophyll molecule and the hemoglobin molecule are very similar, and I'm sure that's no accident.
So it's
chlorophyll
like
is amazing. Blood. Chlorophyll is a resin. Stuff will stick to it. It's great stuff. Yeah, it'll clean the blood.
Would you please clarify if B3 is niacin or niacinamide?
It's both. Niacin and niacinamide both have vitamin B3 properties. Although niacinamide doesn't have exactly the same properties. Niacin, the niacin form of B3, is more helpful for blood fats and for cholesterol.
Oh,
niacinamide, not as much.
Oh boy.
We got
1225573. I have MTFR 1298 and SNI, or I guess it's SNP, due to intrinsic factor, cannot digest B12. How much sublingually should I take?
Well, that's a bunch of gibberish. I mean, that's all gobbledygook there. I don't know who you're reading, or somebody told you a bunch of gobbledygook.
Hassan, it's probably
that's all gobbledygook. Somebody's either you on the internet.
Hassan, is this you? Is this you from Rumble? Wait, did he just turn himself off? Okay, so let's just go. There's Elise. All right, let's just talk to Kenya. Kenya, you're on with Pharmacist Ben.
What happened to Kaylisha or Kitana? What was her name?
Hi, it's Kiana.
Kiana, I don't see it, but that's okay. Are you the gal, the vegetarian?
Okay, yeah. So my
hair.
My hair is all over my head. That's why you can't see me.
Oh, you got a bad hair day?
Bad hair day.
I have bad hair days every day, so don't worry about it.
But yeah, I'm the one that you spoke with last week.
Are you the vegetarian? You're the vegetarian.
Yes, I'm the vegetarian.
Okay.
I started.
So you're doing a food diary.
Yes, I started the food diary, and
so I'm finding out. Tell me a couple things you're finding out.
Avocados bloat me like crazy.
Oh, wait. Hang on. Avocados. You guys hear that? Good food. Love avocados. Good fats. Great food, right? But it's a problem for some people, right? Yes. You would never guess in a million years, right, Kiana?
Right.
Exactly. That's my point. We all think we're eating. I hear us all the time. People are symptomatic, but they eat really well. And I'm like, you got to do a food diary because you don't know. Thank you for doing that, Kiana. What else are you finding out?
I found out that when I eat them with cucumbers, the bloating goes down significantly.
Bingo! That's amazing. Isn't this amazing information, Kiana?
Yeah. So I've been doing research on food pairings. Now I stopped eating fruits.
Okay.
Because you said something about the sugar, but
the fructose.
I keep hearing that the antioxidants in the berries are good. So
here's the thing on fruits: eat small amounts, and eat the berries, not the big melons.
Okay.
The big melons, the big apples, they're foreign. They've been bred, genetically modified. Honeydew, watermelon, those kinds of things. Those are like they're bred to be super high sugar. But berries, raspberries, blueberries, you got to be a little careful. You want to make sure they're organic. Those have less sugar, and they have a larger pulp to peel ratio. Does that make sense? Pulp to peel ratio. You want lots of pulp. I'm sorry, lots of peel compared to pulp. Peel to pulp ratio. I had it backwards. You want lots of peel compared to pulp because the peel has the antioxidants in the medicine. There's some in the pulp, but most of it's in the peel. So yes, you can have small amounts of fruits. You should have small amounts of fruits, but you got to be careful with fruits. That's what I say. So no fruits.
When you say small amounts, like maybe just a cup a day, or
a cup a day, something like that.
Okay, and then you also mentioned that when I juice, it takes up the fiber. But I actually don't have a juicer. I blend all of mine.
That's good. Yeah, if you blend, that's good. You have the fiber, but you still got to do it. You got to do it quickly because there's electrical energy in the full fruit, and when you blend it, you disturb that electrical energy. In the short run, you actually amplify it, but in the long run, you'll see the solids and the liquids separate out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
That's the sign that the energy is dispersing.
Oh, so I want to keep it a little, so it should be a little thick then.
It should be thick and fresh.
Okay.
Over time, as it separates, you're losing the electrical energy.
Oh, okay. Okay. And then also when you mentioned so I'm not eating beans any longer, but then you also mentioned grains and you said stay away from the rice, but then basically you were saying to stay away from any grain that turns into sugar, but don't they all turn into sugar?
They all do, but they also have good nutrition. So you got to see how you do. So the best ones are going to be like quinoa, einkorn,
millet,
amaranth. What's that? Millet, maybe. You'll have to see. Okay. But everybody has their own battles. You have your own battles. I can't really predict what's going to be a problem for you. Like you said, avocados. Who in a million years would have thought avocados are a problem? But they are. Avocados are histamine producers. So you likely have a problem with histamine. You know what that is? Have we talked about that?
Yeah, I was actually allergic to avocados. I can't eat them.
It's not an allergy. It's a histamine response.
Oh, okay.
And fibroids histamine can make fibroids worse. Okay. Get something called, try this, Kiana. Something called DAO, diamine oxidase, DAO, and see if that helps you.
DAO. Now, what about serapeptidase? Those
are good. Those are good. DAO is specific for histamine.
And digestive enzymes.
Those are all good. Absolutely.
So DAO
is specific for histamine, and it's very possible you're having a histamine response. It's almost a sure thing, actually.
Well, gosh, what was it? So can I take all of this in addition to your program?
Yeah, absolutely. Call next week. Stay in touch, or Friday, or whatever. I'd love to hear how you're doing. Oh, I see your hair though. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I was wondering how you did it.
It's rollers.
Oh, that's how you do it.
We love that hair. We love that hair. Hang on. Who are you contacting, Kiana?
No, so I was
your mama?
No. So I actually was going to contact you, AJ. Kiana. You said your sister's name was Kiana, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. So
get to contacting questions@dailywithdoc.com.
Okay.
Thank you
and
so much.
I'll work with you and your mom and your sister, and we'll get you better.
Okay.
You're in good hands with AJ.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right, Kiana. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Pharmacist Ben, our good friend Elise spoke to you a year ago.
Oh yeah.
And she's still dealing with some issues.
Okay, let's.
And Elise, Elise all shy, but we really need to help Elise.
I remember Elise.
Of course you
do.
Unforgettable in every way.
What's going on, Elise?
I don't know. Now that I'm listening to you about the histamine, that's probably what's happening, because every few months, my body will just start screaming. My skin is on fire.
That sounds
and
like
I'm buzzing. And then when I go work out, as soon as I start to sweat, I'm shaking and my heart.
Are you in perimenopause or menopause?
Probably. I don't know, because I had a partial hysterectomy about 11 years ago.
All right, well, let me explain. When your estrogen drops, which is going to happen with that hysterectomy, histamine levels can go up.
Okay.
There's a relationship between estrogen and that stuff I was just talking about called DAO. When your estrogen drops, you don't process histamine, and your histamine will go up. It's very common. One of the classic signs is when your face is on fire, your skin's on fire. Some people will actually react to the sun. Like they'll get sun and their face will start to burn. Not a sunburn, but they'll actually get heat from their face will become on fire, or in the shower. Sometimes people can't hot water will make them so hot and itchy, or your bra strap or your underwear strap. And sometimes it does that. Do you ever have that issue? Here's another thing. Elise. Do you ever take your finger and sign your name in your arm with your finger? Does it leave a mark? It doesn't leave a mark. That's called dermographia for people listening, and that's another sign of histamine release. So I don't know that it's histamine, but it does sound like histamine. So one way you can test it. There's two ways. One way you can test it is by noting what foods are linked to your symptoms. There are foods like we're talking to Kiana that you think are good foods, but they're histamine releasing foods. Cauliflower, avocado, broccoli, cruciferous vegetables. They're histamine releasers, but you think they're good foods. Also, there's foods that trigger histamine release. Fermented foods, by the way, sauerkraut, leftover foods, wine, cheese, all of these can be histamine related to histamine. So see if you can notice a relationship between your symptoms and your foods. And secondly, go get that stuff called DAO. Go order some DAO and start taking it. See what happens.
Does it sound? I mean, would the MCAS be the cause of? Because I can
MCAS is just a term, mast cell activation syndrome. What do mast cells make and secrete?
Histamine.
Hello. Mast cell is on. You don't have MCAS, you have histamine. MCAS is just the explanation for the histamine. What is causing
the only one. I can go work out, and I'm the only, and I go to Pilates, and I'm the only one drenched. I'm drenched.
That's all histamine. Where do mast cells live? Where's their home? Hello. You're answering your own questions. You don't even need me.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, pharmacist. Wait, pharmacist Ben. How does she get better?
I just told you. You do a food diary, number 1. You take your I-26, number 2. You get all the digestive support that AJ is going to tell you about, ultimate enzymes, daily digest, FucoidZ, all the digestive support. Do we have a digestive support pack, AJ?
Well, we have a digestive support grouping on Root Not Fruit.
All the digestive support. Maybe we should put a Ben digestive support pack together.
Well, it's on Root Not Fruit. If they go there, they'll see digestive.
And we'll throw in a food diary for you. Free food diary.
That's there too.
Thank you, Elise. You look good though. You look a lot. You lost weight since I saw you last. I could tell that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm stuck now, though. I think the pause has got me stuck.
Elise, you're making headway.
Thank you.
Let's get a little pat on the back. Come on.
Thank you.
All right. Good deal.
Thanks, Elise.
Thanks, AJ.
See you.
Thanks, Pharmacist Ben.
All right, Pharmacist Ben.
Yes.
You've gone over again.
I have.
And
gone overboard. I got to go. Have a beautiful evening.
We will have a beautiful evening, and thank you to Donald and Elise and Paulina and Victor, our guy Victor, and Tori in the Bahamas, and Avi and Wyoming Annie and Texas Hill and Big Bruce and Jason and everybody on Rumble. Thank you for being here. And we shall see you on Friday with Daily with Doc. Any last words, Pharmacist Ben?
Go and sin no more.